go to Waxdow. Waxdow. I like that you can use Waxdow to also like launch tokens on EOS. That's pretty dope.
Are they like staking or is it like pooling on Waxdow?
Yeah, just like staking like tokens. All just FG tokens, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Should be. Let's see. And do some math and see if this is a feasible one to follow. If we do 7,600.
Yo. Hey.
Hey. Good morning, good afternoon.
Yeah, the voice meter stuff that Lou does for the soundboard is just, it's a lot. So I'm just gonna bite the bullet and have people hate me that you can't do the soundboard, and Max and I'll just do cuss or acapella sounding. I feel like that's easier for me than to replicate Lou's like audio setup.
Yeah. 0.6 times
Can't do that one. Weird.
271.
What the hell? Oh, I see.
Times 24. 0.4-ish.
Well, I got Stream Raiders going here. We'll take a few minutes, let people trickle in, but Max was thinking about going over some Waxdow stuff. There's some like staking pool rewards on Waxdow that seem pretty lucrative to test around with on the Wax investment wallet. I think he's thinking about doing just like a small amount of Wax just to kind of test it out, see the return, and then kind of once you get a feel for the return, see if you maybe want to compound that or add on. But that's more or less the docket. Obviously, some chart reading and whatnot.
Yeah, let's look at what happened this week and what we're expecting from there. Hold on, still doing math. I don't know. I might have already soaked up this opportunity with my own fucking wallet.
Wait, you're the one who's ruining the APR for everyone else?
I mean, I saw this pool on Waxdow the other day, and I was like, "What the fuck is this?" And I put in some Wax, and it doesn't seem like anyone else is joining in. So, like, I get like most of the reward from the pool, and it pretty much covers the cost. Yeah, I think I just went so hard that it's not as good of a deal anymore.
I see. Well, we'll still take a look at it. Or maybe you can do the greater good and just reduce your exposure for everyone else. But that's not required. Oh, whoops. Yeah, we were... the Coin Pirates saga continues. It looks like there was a lot of pushback. Oh my god. Is that your ping pong battle?
That's the Deutschlander.
Oh. Oh man. Yeah, I've been playing somewhat frequently as of late. I don't know. I've been in places where there's more ping pong tables than there typically are in my life. So I feel like I've gotten better since we last played. But then again, I do not do well under pressure.
The ping pong scene in Wenatchee is on point, huh?
Well, yeah, more so it's just like you know, like I went to Leavenworth to hang out with some friends, and the Airbnb we did had a ping pong table, and then I visited some friends nearby, and they have a ping pong table now at their house. There's just a more frequent amount of ping pong tables in my greater vicinity. Nice. Although maybe I'll open the first ping pong bar in Central Washington. There's nothing like Spin out here.
Yeah.
But yeah, Coin Pirates, to update if anyone's interested, is that they, I guess, they got a lot of pushback from the community saying like, hey, dude, what the hell? What's going on here? You're abandoning Wax. Dimitro, if you've been following the Discord server, like he's their community manager, is constantly reassuring, saying they're going to continue to develop on Wax, and this thing on Near is in parallel and is a separate but similar game, and that they're going to exist simultaneously. And I get that, and I guess in my mind, I'll believe it when I see it, but I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. But you can't blame people, in my mind, in an NFT space, and particularly in a Wax space, that when people say that, empirical evidence and history tells you that everyone who said that in the past has not followed through. So
Yeah.
I get the skepticism, and I don't think he's really picking up on that. So there's been a lot of pushback, and I guess in some people's minds, they think, well, at least this is my understanding of the argument, is that, well, make it open source. So if you guys abandon the project, someone else can pick it up
Yeah.
and develop it. And the current assets that people have would then still be relevant. If that were to be the case, which
If
is
somebody
some of the
picks it
power.
up and develops it.
Yeah, but if it's open source, I mean, anyone else can just clone it and make something different, right? So there's a lot of interesting elements there, and they put it to a vote, and this is a pretty complex change and has a lot of implications. It's a strength and it's a feature and a flaw at the same time, as far as blockchain assets being able to continue if a project were to pass it off or to make it open source or whatever. But they put it to a Discord vote, which is a terrible idea because you can multi-count the shit out of it, and they clearly they just didn't think it through. There's like a lot of things to consider, and I think they just got a lot of heat and were like, okay, you vote on it, and then we can absolve ourselves of any guilt here. And I just think it's very short-sighted, and not really a vote taken in good faith. And it also doesn't give you the most DAOs, like DAOs, like allow you to vote based on your stake, right? So the people who spend a shit ton of money or have an enormous stake in Coin Pirates have a greater voting power on the future of the game that they have more of a vested interest in than other people. And so to do so in such a simple Discord matter where people who don't even own any assets in the game can vote is just extremely stupid and kind of a slap in the face to anyone who is invested in the future of Coin Pirates. So I don't know if I feel like it's more ignorance than it is intentional, but either way, it's just kind of a shit show in my mind.
Yeah, it's kind of, the Discord voting is also just like, what serious votes have ever happened in Discord? Like,
and honestly, when they're like, we'll keep developing on Wax, I don't freak out, I want to believe that. But then if you read the tone of that Medium article, for better or for worse, if that was their intent or not, was like, they kind of are saying, well, Wax is not worth it to us because of in their words, the flipper mentality, or people just searching for profit all the time, and that doesn't align with their values and their goals. So if you're saying that, but also saying we're going to stay here, and then at the very end of that article, they're like, we'll keep an eye on Wax and we'll reassess accordingly, doesn't really give me a good argument that you want to keep developing on Wax. You're more just saying it so you don't get yelled at. So
also the idea that like there is less flippers in other blockchains is insane. Like that's just like,
that's what we said last time. It's a byproduct of crypto, not Wax, in my opinion.
Yeah, because Wax is the flipping chain,
and no one told and like no one said you had to develop your game on the blockchain. If you didn't like the idea of like people chasing profit or chasing value in the game assets, just make a normal ass game. So like, you knew what you're getting into, and you chose blockchain gaming and NFT based gaming because you knew there was money in it. Don't pretend like that wasn't your goal. So if you had the ability to develop this game outside of a blockchain ecosystem and avoid all that. So if that was part of your values, like, it just seems like bad planning to me. And then you're just kind of blaming You blaming your process not working out exactly what you want it to, and then pretending like it's not your fault.
Yeah, I think in general, when things go poorly for a project of any type, blaming market conditions or like the blockchain stuff is just, I don't know. Like
I feel like it's a cop out.
every successful project is existing in the same market.
And it's
So why
also,
is
well, sorry, real
yeah.
quick, non-fungible gang, thank you for the raid, by the way. We don't have Lou here, so the notifications are not on, but thank you for that. We're talking about coin pirates and some of the
frustrations?
aftermath of them declaring that they got a grant to develop on another chain, and now they're doing a vote to whether or not they'll make their code open source. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's lazy business practices too. You know, it's like, dude, you're running a business. You made hundreds of thousands of dollars. That's not
Yeah,
hyperbole. That is a fact. You know, you made hundreds of thousands of dollars, and then you're
yeah,
saying like, well, you know, the place where we decided to make our business is just not working, and I'm just throwing my hands up. It's like, it's on you to make a viable business and to adapt to these things, and you're just blaming everyone around you except yourself for maybe a miscalculation or having unrealistic expectations. And I really liked Dimitri when we talked to him, we interviewed him, and I think he's a stand-up
same.
guy, but the way that they're handling this is pretty poor in my mind.
Yeah, I feel like that kind of comes back to me with like, I don't know that like everyone who does like this bullshit kind of like actions intends to be like shitting on their community. Like even Ashiki, I felt like was a like like genuine person when we talked to him too. And he did it, like he gave us our money back when we asked for it and all that stuff. So it's like, I don't know, they're not all like shitters all the time, but
Yeah, just
like
it's not
intentional
intentional
or
doesn't mean you didn't fuck
yeah,
people over, though, you know?
unintentional or intentional, like the end result kind of is the same. So
Exactly, yeah.
yeah, like the
Anyway,
intention matters a lot less than the actions.
that was just an update when we ranted about this last week. So, anyway, well, I guess we'll see how it plays out. There's never a dull day in the wax world. I'll say that for sure.
Yeah. Did you look at the it's Power Rangers Funko drop day, I think, today? Have you seen the collection from those?
Oh no, you know, what's the redeemables?
Let me check. Yeah, actually pull it up. Let's look at them together. I haven't
Yeah.
seen the redeemables yet. I placed some orders
for
on
today's
Chain
Tech Talk
Chips.
Day, so but
Chips.
we'll do a catch up on some fun news. Looks like it's sold out.
Oh shit. My I have some waiting orders for $11 for the standard pack, but I don't know if they're gonna fill.
I do like Power Rangers. We grew up with that. That's about our age range.
Oh,
Looking
Ranger.
back, it's really funny because my perception of Power Rangers is a lot different than the reality revisiting it as an adult. Because I saw some videos and they have all the villains are like just dudes in like gray onesies, like Green Man, and then they just kind of like flail at them.
Yeah.
It's like not quite as action packed as I recall. Like I remember, yeah, they had sweet martial arts when I was a kid. And it's really not.
It's not. How many redeemables are in the set? Is it just the Green Ranger? Or is it?
So you got Green Ranger, and also it's funny looking back at Power Rangers because it was like kind of racist too, because all of the colored Rangers fit their ethnicity, and that was kind of awkward. Man, look at these, like the animations on the NFT are pretty dope though.
It's funny. I compared these to like the original like TMNT ones, and it's just like, damn, those. I wish they had cooler animations now.
They've definitely evolved the quality of the NFT side over time, for sure. Yeah, these are pretty sick.
The Red Ranger.
Scorpina, huh? I don't remember. Oh wait, no, I do remember her. Yeah.
Damn, there's quite a few redeemables in this one.
Oh, Zordon, that's right. Oh, this is pretty dope. This looks cool.
That's fun.
Dude, the Freddy Funko Megazord, I bet people are going to go hard on that one for sure.
This one?
Got the sword Megazord and everything, yeah.
Yeah, damn. That's probably the chase. Which is that the Grail one, or are they all legendaries?
This is the one I think you have to collect everything, the Freddy Funko one. So that's
that makes sense.
Wait, the Masters one, are you talking like Masters of the Universe kind of thing, or? Anyway, yeah. Well, let's see.
Yeah, that was dope. Sold out already, huh? Damn,
Oh, Avatar. Avatar one was probably pretty cool.
Oh yeah, did you not participate in that one at all?
I didn't go for Avatar. No.
The redeemables are
I
like
should have
kind of
scooped the market on Hanna-Barbera. I forgot about that one. I guess it's all Jetson stuff. Maybe I don't want the redeemables as much. Although Huckleberry Hound's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's where I was at too. I'm not a big Jetsons fan, so
I like a lot of other Hanna-Barbera stuff, but Jetsons is probably low on the totem pole in my opinion.
Same, like Flintstones would have been more up my alley.
Let's see.
Like, and their Fire Nation Aang, that's a strange one to do as a redeemable, I felt like. The Painted Lady. Did you ever watch this show?
You know, surprisingly enough, I've only watched a handful of Avatar. I know it's like everyone loves it. And I don't dislike it. I just never really took the time to watch it. So
that was the biggest drop, 65,000 packs. DNA is saying.
Yeah, they don't have what's the flying like thing, the thing that he flies on.
Oh, Appa?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Appa, there it is. Yeah, I would go hard on a redeemable for that. That'd be dope.
Yeah,
it's a missed opportunity. I feel like of all the characters, like these physical redeemables do not have any of the favorite characters. Like they don't have Korra, and I don't know.
Apparently, the Painted Lady is super expensive. Tina's saying for some reason. Yeah, I guess the collectors have decided that's the one they all want.
Huh. Yeah, I feel like that's probably the coolest out of all of these. Maybe Fire Nation Aang looks kind of cool, but I do think, in my limited understanding of Avatar, there's a lot better opportunities there. But you know, to each their own. Funko's a $1 billion company. Neon Space is not a $1 billion company.
Yeah, I think they know what they're doing a little bit.
So you know,
they sold 65,000 packs after all.
Yeah, that's very true.
In one drop.
Speaking of, our Blockchain Boulevard pack drop is still open. You can help us one day take over Funko.
Yeah, or it's a slow grind, slow trek.
Yeah. Hey, you know, Rome wasn't built in a day.
They sold 65,000 packs, and then 2 weeks later are doing another like 50,000.
You know, we'll get there one day. We'll get there.
Yeah. But yeah, that's cool though. It sucks that it's sold out already. People are going hard on those credit card sale drops these days. It's kind of cool to see. Let's see.
Let me get some giveaways out of the way first, and then we can dive into the tech stuff. I feel like if I knock you off your rhythm with giveaways, it doesn't set you up for success here.
No sweat.
Let me log into the giveaway wallet here. If we have newer people here on Tuesdays, Max has been doing like 100 wax investment. I think it's been going for close to 2 months now, where he started with 100 wax and he's trying to kind of build that initial principle as much as he can, not trading NFTs, but only doing like FT trades. So like doing staking positions or liquidity farming or things of that nature. So more like DeFi approaches to strategy or DeFi strategies on Wax specifically. And he's only doing the moves once a week when we're live on stream. So it's not like, hey, I'm going to do like 100 trades and do this crazy order book arbitrage. And you can be just like me if you spend 3 hours a day doing it. So like we're trying to make it more approachable to the layperson. So it's not like, so if you can take away some of these things if you are so inclined, but obviously not financial advice, more educational, but it's a fun thing. So far he's been up 40%, I believe, and probably more than that.
We've been doing pretty good.
So 40% in like, I guess 6 to 8 weeks, if I'm remembering right. So it's a fun little experiment so far.
Yeah, I'm digging it. It's also fun just to see like the emerging kind of like fungible token space on Wax.
Yeah, the
There's a lot
DeFi's
of like
kind of
little,
picked up more aggressively, it seems like, as of late. It was really a slow grind, and it was just Alcor, and that was kind of the only real space to do that. And over the last 6 months to a year, it's kind of grown exponentially. Now you got Taco Swap, you have DeFi Box, you have a lot of NFT projects, games or otherwise, doing incentivized liquidity pooling, having their own token. Metaforce is doing it.
yeah.
Blockchain like Taco Swap is opening up a lot of staking rewards for like blockchain brawlers and things like the Brawl token. So it's definitely picking up, and you can see that the market's responding to it. People like this stuff, so now it kind of incentivizes the projects to be like, okay, well, now we know there's a market for it.
I also over the weekend added like a second pool for Neon token on DeFi Box.
Oh, that's
I
right.
created a Neon wax tether pool just to see if like my theory is that creating a second pool for arbitrage will drive a lot more volume through the Neon wax pool. And so far, the volume's been about 350 wax per day since I did that.
People are trading through it, the wax or the Neon USDT.
Both.
Nice.
So you can see Neon Wax now has like 300 wax worth of volume in the last 24 hours. And if you scroll all the way fucking down, because the pools that are paired with non-wax are all listed below the pools listed with paired with wax. So you have to scroll like way down to find any pool that isn't.
Oh yeah, so Neon Wax USDT. So if I were to swap, so if I go, is the Wax USDT pool? It's more than that.
It's more than the Wax USDT pool, but I don't think it's enough more. Like it's the amount
to make
more
it
that
route
it is.
there
Isn't enough to like cover the fee of a third path. Or
all right, say I go like Nefty. Oh, Nefty Wax USDT. Okay, so you haven't quite surpassed it. That'll automatically route through the Neon.
Yeah, wax. I think the Wax USDT pool is like 4,800 wax deep, and then my pool is like 5,200 wax deep. So we're only like 500 wax or so ahead.
Yeah, 4,694, and you were.
I'm all at the bottom. You have to go past anything that isn't a wax pool.
This one.
Yeah, that's it.
So yeah, okay, you're right. You're up about 5,000. So
yeah.
So is it just going to take deeper liquidity for you to surpass it, or is it just going to take time for the algorithm to recognize it?
I think it's deeper liquidity so that it has enough depth to cover the additional 0.3% liquidity sourcing fee of adding that additional path.
To the I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not quite deep enough.
That is pretty funny though, that like for a wrapped stable coin, you single-handedly can make the deepest pool on Wax. I mean,
yeah.
I think we've mentioned it before, but I just, to really take Wax DeFi to the next level, having more wrapped tokens. Now, obviously, token bridges are a little risky these days, but if you're trying to encourage big money to come in from, like, say, Ethereum into here, there exists wrapped USDT, wrapped USDC, wrapped Bitcoin, wrapped Ethereum. I think there's wrapped BUSD. But people aren't going to move over a lot of that because there isn't the liquidity to move it back out. So if you were to incentivize some of these wrapped stablecoin pools, it would just make the ecosystem a lot stronger in that way. At least
I agree
from our thoughts. And that's kind of typical in other DeFi systems.
But also even just the fact that now there is opportunity between Wax Neon and USDT Neon. People are like, there's arbitrage bots going between those two, even though the trade route isn't routing, because as Wax changes price, that creates opportunities. So it's like, it's definitely adding liquidity to the pool.
What? Wait, totally off topic. I just got an email saying Moviepass is relaunching.
Oh yeah, I saw that too.
That's crazy.
Oh, right? Man. They didn't
love Moviepass back in the day.
How many times do we have to teach you this lesson?
All right, so All right, so I'm gonna do giveaways, and then we'll go into Max's tech stuff. We're sufficiently in left field already.
Yeah.
Moviepass was like back in the day. I want to say it was like maybe 6-7 years ago. This is before they did all like the subscription services where you could like get AMC Pass and you would basically pay a subscription and you get free movies, like in theater. And so this is before that started. And so Moviepass would basically you'd sign up and you paid like $15 a month, and then you would get unlimited movies for the month in theater. And they would send you would sign up and they would send you like a debit card with your name on it. And then you would pay with that debit card, and they would just keep refilling it so that you would pay with their money. And so if you saw 2 movies a month, it was effectively free, or the second movie was and onward would be free. And it was like this crazy deal, and everyone just like it got super popular really quick, and then it's completely just fucked the market share from AMC and Regal and all them. So they basically came out with their own version to basically put them out of business.
It was an unbelievably good deal. I remember I would go to see like 2 or 3 movies a week.
So they kind of proved the concept. They put it out there and people loved it. And so, the market kind of responded, and obviously they got outbeat by the existing players, but it definitely changed the ecosystem to show that this is a viable model because people really like it and use it a lot.
They were wildly popular, and it got a bunch of more people going back to the movie theaters because it's $15 to go all week long.
Man, I remember getting it. I don't know. I remember getting Moviepass like 5-6 years ago, if I remember
right. It's been a while. I mean, COVID was like 3 years at this point now.
Yeah, that is kind of wild. It's a bit of a time warp. So we have our Crittercraft packs. So we have a few of these to give away. So we have our Crittercraft collab. And I'll give this away fittingly with Grubfish.
I pulled a fucking a neon pay to earn, play to earn kind of sign the other day. It's dope.
Morton, Matt, if you want to be on this giveaway, we're on Twitch. So the Twitch this is like a Twitch integrated thing. So we appreciate you watching us YouTube, but if you want to participate in the giveaway stuff, it's Twitch only.
Yeah, YouTube doesn't let you type !play in the chat to jump into this list.
That would be cool if we could simulcast and both YouTube and Twitch could do that, but unfortunately that is not the case at this point. Right, I'm gonna grab my coffee real quick, but this will be for the Crittercraft. Let's see. We can show. I wonder if I can show off the Grubfish here. So this is what's in the pack, or one of.
If you pull the neon.
Yeah. I do like the collabs are in order. But yeah, so you can get, dim, lit, glow, or neon. So it's a 1-card pack with an RNG chance to pull any of the 4 rarities. We airdropped a few of these this past Saturday to Crittercraft NFT holders and Neon Space NFT holders. And then we saved packs for ourselves. I think it was like 80. And then a handful of packs for Crittercraft and Gaz for them to give away themselves as well. I think we might give some to like Burst and other streamers too at some point, but that's more of a Lou question.
Nice. Yeah. Well, yeah. When I was sourcing those fucking neon tokens the other day, trying to get, I think ended up being around like 300 blend tokens. That took like hours of blending and burning stuff. Even at one point when I was just like grouping stuff together, and it was just, dang, it takes a long time to source that much neon. I was like, damn.
Yeah, so what's Moviepass? I don't know. I'll have to look more into this Moviepass thing. I mean, what are they doing to stay competitive? They were the only act in town for a while. Now Regal and AMC do the exact same thing. So what's
these days?
Beat them on price, or
I don't know. I have AMC A-list. That's not like as cheap as Moviepass used to be. I think that's like $21 a month.
That's like 2 movies though. Like, so if you see a third movie, it's free.
Yeah, exactly. And
if you're near a movie theater, it's pretty sweet.
I also live like I don't know, in a big city with lots of like we can go to like the AMC over at Universal City or Universal Studios City Walk, you know, and like get like free parking because you're seeing a movie and go park at the like Universal Studios and all that shit.
Oh shit, $9.99. Okay, now we're talking.
Damn,
Moviepass,
no,
dude, this
okay,
is
that's
insane.
like
Okay.
I might move off of the A list for that.
Yeah, see, it's tough. Like I would do that because I love going to the movie theater, and I would do that. But I live in a small town now. I moved out of Seattle, so there's 2 movie theaters, both locally owned and not affiliated with any major like Regal or AMC or anything. So there, I can't use those existing services because they're not affiliated. So I wonder if Moviepass might be the answer because this is an independent theater.
That is kind of like their edge that they could bring to the market is like they could.
Like it doesn't lock you into one type of location.
Yeah. Exactly, because I can only go to AMC theaters for mine. Although there's a lot of AMC theaters around where I live. Like,
and AMC does NFTs. That is kind of fun too. If you're like you have an account with them, which you can make in a free account. Like I have one, even though I don't live near an AMC theater, but you can make like an account, and they've airdropped a couple NFTs to people.
Yeah, you make a Stubbs account for AMC, and then you self-identify as a shareholder. You have to like check the box that says you own AMC stock, and that makes you a AMC Connect member, and they airdrop NFTs to their AMC Connect members. They've done it twice already.
All right, let's go ahead and start this guy. It seems like I don't get a lot of. Oh, nice, Nathan Vernier, and in before the wire there. Doom Rollers always seems people aren't huge fans of Doom Rollers, so I'm gonna do Grubfish, do the old classic, and also get my coffee.
Okay, each month. Okay, that sounds kind of good. You get like an amount of credits for like the different tiers of pricing. Because the thing I like about my AMC A list is that like I get to like I could go see a IMAX movie with the recliner seats and 3D and all that shit is just included. You know, where it's like all those upcharges, like the IMAX is usually like upcharge, the 3D would be an upcharge, like the recliner seating or the like reserved seating is an upcharge. So it's like all the upcharges are part of it.
Oh, this is a wait list. Yeah, I recall when Moviepass first came out, it was not like very financially viable. Like I don't think they were making a lot of money.
Yeah, there was also like people like posted hacks and shit online where it was like you could, you know, like say you're gonna go see a movie and then just use your Moviepass card to buy like $15 worth of shit. Because it literally was just a debit card. Like once you like signed up for the movie, they sent you like $15 to spend on a movie ticket, but you could just spend it on anything. Of course, eventually they would like, you know, ban you from their service or like whatever. But
yeah, I'll post the link for you, Jeff. But basically, Moviepass is coming back, which I think is pretty cool. I just thought it was hilarious. It was like seemed so janky at the time. They would just like you'd sign up and then they just send you a debit card. And they just like we'll put money on it.
Yeah, I thought it was bullshit too, but then I signed up for it anyway because
like a scam.
I was just like, whatever. It sounds too good to be true.
I felt so weird going to the movie theater. I'm like, okay, here you go. But then hopefully, like they don't turn me away. So then it worked, and I was like, oh my god, like I feel like I just cheated.
Oh my god, I found a movie theater the hack. No DNA. Oof. There goes the last of the trails. Oh, it's the final 3. Oh, Jeff.
Oh, just barely.
Oh,
Sumerian. Oh, woof.
Yeah, that's it.
Right, GG. Biospit.
Oh, nice with the spin.
Oh, nice. Little flex at the end there.
Oh, get sliced. Did you watch the new Game of Thrones?
I did, yeah.
Spinoff.
I thought it was pretty good. I mean, I didn't read the book, so I don't have as much of like a context for that. But I thought it was pretty good.
Did you find, I guess, spoiler alert, possibly? I don't want to get in trouble with Lewis spoiling things.
Nice, good
So
save.
if you haven't seen it, mute yourself. But I was wondering, did you? Because somebody I was talking to was saying that they thought the like cutting between like the woman having the baby and the like battle of the tournament was like this symbolism of like, you know, childbirth being like the woman's battlefield or shit, which I was just like, calm down. I don't know about that. Like,
no,
maybe,
they totally did
like,
foreshadowing for that. There was dialogue earlier. There was dialogue earlier with
like
the mom and the daughter saying like, you know, our when you're a queen, you know, the child table is our battlefield. You know, that's she like literally said that. So I feel like that was what they were going for. It was pretty clear.
I don't know. Okay, yeah, I mean, I guess so, but it's kind of like, yeah, all right. That's kind of like, have you seen the movie?
All right, real quick,
Nope.
we'll do another one, same prize. We're doing the Crittercraft pack. Yeah, and then I'll do that for all three. So we want to give these away while they're still relevant. We had too many of those Tales of the Crypto, and they just took forever to give away.
There's way less of the Crittercraft ones. There's like,
yeah, we've tightened the mint structure quite a bit over time. I mean, our first release was 1600 dim, and now it's down to what, like 375.
Now it's down to 525 total for a whole fucking like piece of artwork.
So it's like almost a quarter of what it used to be. So we've been feeling it out, learning over time that, you know, tightening the mint structure with the collectibles, and that's what the Neon token effectively is doing, is to particularly reduce the supply of the initial ones where we kind of were still getting our bearings doing a collectible brand on wax. But I like the way the mint structure is now, and the percentage to pull a Neon is slightly higher, but still very rare, right? I think it's like, it used to be a fraction of 1%, and now it's like 1% or 1.1%, which is still super rare, but, you know, like a little less brutal.
Yeah, I was ripping quite a few packs the other day on Blockchain Boulevard to pull that Neon, but it was still like a fun, much more fun pack ripping experience.
Yeah, if you've been following along for a while, we've just been kind of slowly tightening, adjusting, and each drop it gets, you know, more dialed in, both in the artwork, the mint structure, the release, the sale, the pack opening. So, you know, we're humans and we grow over time, but it is fun to see how Neon Space has evolved in just, you know, a year and a half at this point.
Yeah,
which is like, I mean, we're ancient in wax years or in crypto years. I mean, we had our 1 year in April, so yeah, it's close to a year and a half. Yeah,
right. Let's see. Hold on. Oh yeah, I was trying to check out like the burn rate of some of our stuff here.
Yeah, if you're curious, I mean, you can see the amount of per template, how much of a given template's been burned. It's always kind of interesting. You look at some of the Genesis stuff. I mean, it's huge. Like, there's like thousands of a given, or like 1,000 of a given sign that was burned, which is cool because it means people are actually doing it.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, the glows too. Like 10 of the glow, 620 of the dims are burned from this template, 680 of this one. Yeah, that's definitely like
that's brutal DNA. I opened all but one Crittercraft pack. This must be from the airdrop, and angrily sold the last one because I only pulled dims, and the dude who bought it got a Neon. That's brutal.
Savage. That's what, like, you're just like looking for like a disappointment by looking up what the dude who bought your pack opened from the pack.
Oh man, this is a trap. We do not give financial advice. So I feel like you're baiting me to say yes to this, but we do not give financial advice.
Yeah,
we'll have a banner. We'll protect ourselves with a banner.
Yeah, I can't say anything about that. if that's a good idea or not
Boom,
is up
that's
to
our shield.
you. It's up to you individually if that's a good idea for you or not. I remember back in like 2014 or something, I like went to my bank and I asked them to like pay out my the company match 401k that I had. And the guy was like, why are you going to do that? And I was like, I want to buy Bitcoins. And he was just like, that's a terrible idea. Like, oh, you shouldn't do that. Like, oh no. And it's just like, that's fine. Like, I'll risk it. It's okay. Like, it went pretty well from there. But the financial advisor said it was not a good idea.
Yeah, that's really funny. That's no joke. He totally did that. Pulled my 401k to invest in Bitcoin and turned out pretty good.
I did that. He was like, you have
you're
to
not
pay an
some
early
guy
withdrawal
digging
fee.
through a landfill trying to find your old hard drive. So you're ahead of most.
Yeah, I'm doing better than that guy.
Go ahead and start here on Grubfish. We'll do one more after this.
Yeah.
Started lagging quite a bit. I think it's not too bad now, but
yeah, it was a little slower before. Yeah, Twist, the banker was like,
I mean, I think there's a lot of data to show, like, wealth management firms are on par or slightly worse, or basically not distinctly better by any significant margin than just investing in the S&P or just broad index funds, as opposed to some sort of wealth management trader that has all these crazy strategies. So I don't know. It works for some people. I mean, it's more like, do you want to deal with all of the trades and things like that, or managing things, rebalancing? And even rebalancing, if you're just investing in index funds, you probably don't really need to do anyway. But it is an interesting point that these folks aren't really like actively beating the market, but I guess they at least manage your money in a way that you don't have to do it. So I can see it from that perspective, but it is something that they kind of try to imply in their sales strategy, because they are salespeople at the end of the day, and they're incentivized and they make money off of, the success of your portfolio, or or they'll get incentivized for making particular trades with particular products.
The guy that I talked to, he was also like quite old and about to retire in like 2 or 3 years or something.
Which is a generational thing. You're totally right.
Yeah, which is kind of like, I don't know, like, thanks for your input on like this technology that you definitely have no idea about.
Yeah, I feel like in an internet age, your access to information, your access to ways to discuss with other people, your access to like generally get an idea, like to be able to manage your own portfolio, is way easier than it was in a pre-internet age. And you did need someone who had taken the time to study these things. So it is kind of a culture shift that...
Exactly. It's not like the old days. I don't need to like call a phone on like the Wall Street trading floor where someone's going to be like, yelling and waving a stack of paper like, buy like 5 shares of this for my client on the other line. Like, you don't need, like, I could just go on my like app based, on my cell phone now and place those types of like complicated orders and have them all execute with that.
You could buy options contract while you're taking a shit.
Yeah, exactly. So it's
I don't think that was the thing even 10 years ago.
Yeah, I honestly feel like financial brokers in general are kind of going the way of the like
the dodo
of the dodo, of what was it called, like travel agencies.
Yeah,
sure, they're around, and you can use them to book a trip, but you can do the same shit on like just your computer on a website. Get airfare and like get your hotel and all that stuff lined up. It's really simple, and like it's just become so simple. So I think we're like, decoupling from.
All right, last one, exclamation point play, and then we'll get into chart reading with Max here. Well, actually, I'll run stream readers after that too, but or actually, while you're exclamation point playing, we'll just run stream readers.
I was like the term mining fiat for people making money with a hourly wage.
All right, exclamation point play. I'll run this stream readers real quick. Yeah, I would agree. The fiduciary responsibility does at least still remain relevant, particularly if you have complex, wealth to manage,
Fiat miners.
Or like if you're managing an estate or something like that, that does seem like it's something that most people don't want to deal with.
Yeah, exactly. But I feel like we're coming to a point now where like the retail investor is not necessarily someone who should be, who needs a broker. Like your broker is almost certainly going to be like your app, like your Fidelity app or your like Robinhood app or whatever you're using.
Yeah. All right, this is the Forced Sculler, so we're going to need some serious firepower here, y'all. We're going to have to get serious. Actually, here, I think...
I found a trade router on Stake.io, routes your trades if you have too much like volume in a single transaction. They'll like break it up for you across different liquidity pools. I thought that was super cool. I mean, almost like nobody I really know would need this because it requires insanely huge volume. But if you did like 1,000 Ethereum in one trade, it would be like, okay, we'll do, like 20,000 or if $20,000 through like Uniswap V3 pool 1, 20,000 through V2, 15,000 through the V2 pool, $10,000 through like the Sushi Swap pool, and it breaks it all between all of those, so that you don't get hit by like price impact from slippage due to a massive order. Which I was like, damn, cool. That's cool, but also like, to need a tool like that
client.
Yeah, to need such a tool is a goal of mine. If I'm one of these days making like 1,000 Ethereum trade, I'll have I'll feel accomplished.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and start this guy. Another 10 seconds. You want to sneak in an exclamation point play.
And let me pull up Trading View and take a look at some charts.
It's a casual reminder that ham sucks. Reminding everyone of that.
Wow. I was just thinking the other day when we were talking about how ham was so superior to turkey, and then I was like, oh, my lunch is here, and you asked like what I got to lunch, and I was like, turkey, and you immediately knew I was trolling you. It's because nobody would have ordered turkey for lunch. That's how it's so obviously a troll,
Yeah, now every time you order a sandwich, you have to get ham. Tell me how quickly you get sick of it.
Oh yeah, I get moons over my hammy sandwich at.
Okay, that is pretty good. I remember that from Denny's. Yeah, what's the Denny's like ghost restaurant?
Oh, what's it called? The Meltdown.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the Meltdown. If you ever see the Meltdown on DoorDash, that's just Denny's. But don't let that stop you. It's still really good.
Oh man.
I forget what the name is.
I still think we should do food fight Fridays. We're already off the rails, so we can just argue about food.
Yeah, I've been trying to think of like an alternative to mac and cheese that I could argue, but
yeah, trust me, I will die on the mac and cheese hill.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm very motivated.
I also like we could do it in a way where it's like, oh, the giant grub just got sliced. We could do it in a way where like Paul and I were talking about it, where it was like you could do like your favorite way to prepare a potato, because I feel like there's
that's a good point. There's a lot of interpretations of that, and it'd be hard to choose just one,
right?
Like if you were to ask me like French fries or tater tots, that's hard. I would probably go tater tots, but it's not an easy decision.
Okay, yeah, exactly. See that? I feel like that's a good
mashed
one.
Potatoes or fries, right? That's hard.
Scalloped potatoes, baked potatoes. Like there's such many options. Like it's like the Bubba Gump of potatoes.
Yeah, I mean, we can pull the audience here. What do you think is a good counterpart to mac and cheese to argue of which is better?
Yeah.
Mac and cheese or something, and we each choose one and argue on its behalf. Yeah. We really like the Taste Buds podcast. For context, Taste Buds is a podcast with Sal Vulcano and Joe DeRosa. They're like two comedians, and they argue about food, or argue debate over food on either side. If you're not familiar,
Potato salad. That's the thing though, like shit like that, like potato salad or some other type of like side. My issue with that is that like mac and cheese can be a meal on its own, whereas mashed potatoes is not a meal. That's a side dish.
Yeah.
You know, so it's yeah, get a fucking grip. But it's got to be something that can be a meal too, because otherwise I'm gonna lose immediately. Because like that point is hard to like argue. It's like, you know, mashed potatoes or mac and cheese. It's like, well, one isn't like. Have you ever ordered mashed potatoes as like your like entree? It's not a thing.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could think of another pasta dish like spaghetti and meatballs or something like that, or like lasagna, or
yeah. I mean, there's no way in hell you'd be able to argue like mac and cheese is better than lasagna.
Dude, I could 100% argue that. Are you fucking kidding me?
Are you serious? You think mac and cheese is better than lasagna?
Okay, we can do lasagna. I mean, I picked my horse in this, man. That's all I'm saying.
I don't know. I'm still Paul. What do you think? Is there what?
Lasagna.
Okay, Paul also says mac and cheese over lasagna. So then give me something. What's better than mac and cheese, Paul?
Dude, you're asking me to tell you what to argue, man. Like, I know I'm gonna argue mac and cheese. You got to find your own way, man.
Wow, Paul, help me. Paul's thinking chili cheese fries, but that's also not an. I guess
I feel like they're in different veins, though. I feel like it has to be somewhat in the same category, like a pasta dish or some sort of meal type thing. Chili cheese fries feels more like a side to me. I mean, you could maybe like, I don't know, maybe you could do like mac and cheese or poutine or something. Both are very like heavy and decadent, or I don't know.
I just don't know if I want to argue poutine over mac and cheese. You know, that's a hard argument.
Yeah. I mean, you got to want it. You got to have conviction, man. I don't want you to half-ass this thing.
Yeah. We could do best sides, excluding mac and cheese, I guess.
Oh, like if you're going to like a fried chicken place or like KFC or something, what are typical sides? Which one would be better?
Yeah. Although I guess mac and cheese is definitely a side. I'll think about it still.
Yeah. Well, mac and cheese is a side and an entree. Give me either or.
Yeah. So I shared my screen here. Let's take a look at some of this crypto market here. I'm on the Ethereum chart. We made last week when we looked at it, we were kind of like up here, and we made this green line thinking that it'll at least fall to here, and if it bounces there, then we might continue the uptrend. It did not bounce. It definitely just sold right through that line and into the last looks like support line found here, kind of where the last time we were hovering here. Let's see how it's looking on the on balance volume. We're definitely lower, making a lower low. So on the daily, of course. I think like I've been pretty bearish, so it's nice to see, you know, the bearish things playing out for this week like we expected it to. But let's take a look a little closer. Right now, like this little what is it called? This little candle right here, what is forming is called a doge, where you have like the similar like length top and bottom with a very thin body. That type of candle, which you can see like right here as well, is usually something that is followed by a direction change. Here's another one. Here's another one. Here's one too. Like they're always kind of right before a sell-off. So I'm kind of watching. Let's see if we can see this turn around and kind of like retest the old next week, or if it's gonna like get rejected here and keep tracing down. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit, go to the 4-hour chart. On the 4-hour chart, it looks like we are just like here. We found the support at the daily, or at the 4-hour middle B bands line, which is kind of like on the daily. I think we still haven't flipped that back yet. We're still quite a ways down from it. On the daily, it's up here, right on my green line from last week. So my assumption for the daily chart here is that we're going to kind of bounce to retest this green and then possibly be rejected here before moving further down. I think the rejected, let's take a look. How's this? Made a little bit of a lower low, and then this is kind of climbing higher than, here's the last time we were at that price. Kind of about the same, maybe slightly higher here now. On the 4 hour, I don't know, it's hard to say, but that's why we look at the macro picture by checking the SPY, the SPY, and the SPY also turning down, and on the 1 day now actually is selling down to the middle line, and I'm hoping to see this fall now. I mean, we've been charting the SPY and all this stuff expecting to see it sell off, and we've kind of like, this is the top more or less of the stock market so far. You can see it's like sold off now, kind of retesting old support levels, which are around here. Last time it bounced was right around here as well, so it bounced all the way up to that same level. Is getting a little bit rejected here, it looks like, and my assumption is we're moving lower on the SPY, at least to retest this old level again, possibly pushing below there in the coming weeks. And again, this is the COVID-19 crash. Yeah, is it? Yeah, 2020 April. Yeah, definitely. It's like the lockdowns and everything happening there. I think we're gonna get a similar. So this was kind of like a manufactured by all those lockdowns and stuff, but continuing to push up in the bear market, in the bull market. And now I think we're kind of flipping our sentiment bear, where we're gonna get a little bit more of a jaggedy kind of sell off. So I think we're going to see the same thing happening on Ethereum, where zoomed all the way out, we had a run up here. Ethereum didn't really have anywhere near, I guess here you can see it in the same time, April. This is the same COVID-19 kind of like crash for Ethereum, which it like, you know, clearly pumped like crazy after that. And you can see the on balance volume, OBV also like took a hard sell and then kind of came back, making higher highs, kind of climbing. We're way zoomed out now here, by the way. This is like years. And you can see that it is starting to trend down and not making a higher high. Again, not, like kind of making lower lows since it started selling off up here. So from here on forward, we're kind of trending down. And I still see that trend continuing. And then these kind of like giant lines were like what we're looking at. If we cross above this one, I was like, that's the end for sure. There's no way a bear market closes above this line. We're nowhere near there still. And we're still very much hugging the general trend line down, where it's funny to see, actually, if we zoom in closely, we basically got rejected right on that downtrend. See, we broke away from this big blue line, and we kind of came back, and now we're just getting hit again. My assumption is we move down with this blue line back down to, you know, $600-700 for Ethereum, and that is over the course of the next like several months. That's my expectation, but I still don't see that information on this chart isn't like shooting down what I'm expecting to see here. So I'm still going to stay bearish with my sentiment and expect these markets to continue to sell off in the coming weeks and months. Let's just look at wax really quick too. I don't really look at wax too often, so it's kind of nice to wax is doing this similar thing with that blue line I drew, where it also made it back there and now is pushing down right along it. Also, let's take a look. Wax's OBV sold off aggressively on the Qcoin book and is now kind of coming back, like making a higher high here, much higher, or at least climbing a lot higher than it was when the price was the same, like over here. Like we're way higher. Let's zoom in closer and show you what I mean. Here, the price right now is around here, you know, where it's been this entire time. But the OBV is climbing, so that's indicating kind of like we might push up from here. that there's upward pressure kind of building. On the Qcoin order book, we can always change and look at wax on a different order book and see how it's looking on Binance, for example. And let's see, on Binance, we don't get that aggressive sell-off. We just have money entering this order book and kind of just staying there. Even as the price is dumping, the money's, or like the OBV is not selling off. For wax, that kind of indicates, again, like a move up is in the stars when you see this type of on balance volume rising while the price action is diminishing. Let's look at a couple other books. So we looked at Binance, we looked at Qcoin. Let's look at Bitrex. Similar picture here. OBV rising with the price, and then as the price falls back down, OBV staying high. So all these, this is a bullish signals for sure. Let's see what's another one of these. I'm not sure what all these exchanges are. Oh, this one also, look at that. Price dumping, OBV climbing. So I don't know. Wax, I was thinking already for a while that Wax's floor for this bear market is around 8 cents, which is kind of like right here. We had a chance to buy here previously. I think we may have a chance to buy here again, and I'm planning to pick up some more Wax around there. Based on this OBV, it's a little unclear if we'll keep pushing down, but like I assume Wax moves with the bigger cryptos like Bitcoin and Ethereum, and I assume those cryptos move with the SPY indicators. All of these kind of are pointing at continuing sell-offs in the coming weeks and months. So I'm going to continue and keep my sentiment short, thinking that we're going to sell off. So using that short sentiment, let's look into our Wax investment.
Yeah, I think that's the key too, just as a reminder of just always have a plan. You know, if you're like, well, I don't know where Wax is going to go. Is 11 the bottom? Is 10 the bottom? You know, you could dollar cost average in, you could wait for a certain price target, but if you're just trying to react, you're always going to have a bad time. So if you set a plan and then when that plan happens and you can execute it, that's a lot easier place to be mentally when you're investing like this than it would be if you're just trying to react all the time.
Yeah, exactly. It looks like we made a good move exiting the land box position as well, because it's down to 6 cents or 6 Wax now, on its way down. Again, I think it needs to go much lower, keeping in mind that Landbox has the same token supply as a token like Nifty Blocks, Nifty token. So, you know, Nifty token is, I don't know, let's see, where's that one? Nifty token is 1/4 of 1 Wax, and Landbox is 6. So it's hard for me to think that Landbox is worth 24 times more than Nifty Blocks, Nifty token. Yeah, baby. Let's see. So, yeah. Anyway, let's look at, this is our wallet here.
Yeah. So what are your current positions?
Let's double check the chart really quick one more time. We're looking at the crypto chart. We're seeing we did get a bit of a sell-off this week. It is starting to kind of form on the daily like a doge, which could result in a trend changing here in the short term. So this week we're expecting to see probably a retest before a continuing sell-off is my expectation. So it's kind of like unclear. It doesn't look like for sure it's going to continue to sell off moving into like the next few days. So just wanted to be clear. I don't think it's going to just continue to dump and dump and dump all week. Here we go. So far, our wallet's position is worth 141 Wax. We started with 104 in DeFi box and with 100 Wax flat before that. So we got 141 now, and we got to claim our mining rewards. So let's see how much we get from that still.
Yeah, CMW keeps crawling up, and then it looks like, you know, people take profits, then it kind of rolls back down. But you know, from the last couple of weeks, it kind of looks like it hovers around a little bit above 1 Wax to 1 CMW, and then it'll kind of creep up to about like 1.5 wax per CMW, and then jump back down to like 1.1, and then so at least that's from my observation. We'll see, but you know, a lot of the interest in the CMW token was based on the tokenomics. So just like Max was comparing the distribution for Landbox token to Nefty, you know, the valuation of CMW in the way that he interpreted it was just because the supply is so low and there's all these major burn events, you know, that gives a good base level valuation for the token.
Yeah, it's definitely still a high inflation token because the inflation now comes from, you know, this side here.
True.
And you can see that it's starting to fall as people take profit, but remain like in their positions. So you can see that the reason it's lower now is because the price is falling, but the volume or the depth in the pool is still close to 300,000.
People are just selling off the rewards.
People are selling off, yeah, and then like there's still deep liquidity depth, and that's exactly kind of what we expected to see. Like this should fall and this should fall over time, but as it falls, we're able to pull out the values. So let's see. We started with 100.
Real quick, so like in the confines of this experiment, right? Did you remote stake RAM and CPU, or did you use from that 100 wax CPU?
I remote staked from, so the CPU was from a separate wallet. And I think, let's see.
Yeah, so I guess just to point out the rules here, if you're interpreting, yeah. So of that 100 wax, it assumed that there was already some stake to handle the transactions that you would have to do. Although in the grand scheme, since he's only doing this once a week, there's relatively few transactions that are happening besides claiming and maybe pairing some stuff here and there. But it does require some staking. So what, 40?
I
41 wax?
35 wax from first at FTW, it says. So, and 5 from the other one. So 41.2 wax. So I guess we started with 141, and now we have 145 plus 41. So we still have the 41 here. But we started with 100 liquid wax here. Yeah, so I guess that is fair to point out. It was also, there is a stake involved in making a wallet functional. So this would, I would say we started with about $15, and we used 5 of those dollars to kind of like make the wallet functional, and 10 of them to try to invest. So at this point, we're about 2 months in, we'd have covered the cost of, you know, maintaining the wallet's resources, but we also still have those resources, which is kind of nice. But yeah, now you can see here, plus my 4 wax, we've gotten back our 100 wax, 100%. We're basically fully back to being made whole. So this 4 wax, I would say we can now use to participate in some other strategies here. And one of them that the one that I was eyeing the other day, or that I was gonna like, that I'm personally doing, I'll say it that way, but I might have like taken up too much of this strategy already for myself, is here. I went over to WaxDAO, and then I went to staking, and I looked up token pools just to see what kind of pools have people been making here. And then here you can see the different pools where you can stake certain token currencies and get paid out. So for example, there's a CMX token farm where it's paying out, if we go to about, it's paying out 1 CMX per hour to the pool of 3,000 CMX tokens. So I can then buy some CMX, add them to this pool, and I can do the math of how much CMX per hour my share of tokens would be. So let's just do an example of that really quick. Would be, let's say we use our 4 wax to buy some CMX. So let me CMX. Let's take a look if this is worth our while. CMX. And we have, how much wax did we have? 4.6. So 4.6 wax gets us 3.7 CMX. So then I can go, we would get yoink. Let's move all this stuff out of the way. 3.7 CMX divided by the total of CMX in this pool, 3374 equals. So we would own this percentage of the pool, and that would be times 1.0166 per hour. So we'd be making this amount of CMX per hour times 24 hours would be 0.0267 per hour. And let's see what that amounts to, or per day, sorry, 0.0267. So for 4 wax invested into this pool, we would be making about 0.03 wax per day. So if we did that times, a week, assuming now we're assuming that the price of CMX stays consistent for a week, but in 1 week we'll make 0.187 or 0.22 wax on 4. So that's, what is that, like 10% ish in a week that we could expect to make from this pool. Okay, so that's kind of like how I like to look for these types of opportunities and do the math on them. So let's see some of these other ones. This is the one that I did for myself because I saw this BTK and I looked up these tokens are worth quite a bit. If I go to about, this BTK pool has 126,000 CMX tokens staked to it. And if I go to about
KMEX.
What was that?
It's KMEX.
KMX, sorry, yeah. KMX. MEX. KMEX. This is a token that somebody just used this platform to make, I think. But I went and I looked it up on Alcor to see if they had liquidity. KMEX. So, I mean, I spiked the shit out of the price when I was buying these. But let's see if I did 6 or 4.6, I would get 7,000 of these now, which isn't going to be as lucrative as it was when I did it, because I did I think it cost me 30 wax to buy my share of all these tokens. And if I go to my wallet, I now own 80,000 of the 120,000. So most of this is me, and it's paying out, BTK, and it pays out 0.02 per hour, which if we do the math on 0.02 BTK 0.02, that's almost 0.1 wax per hour. So you'd go 0.02 times 24 hours. So this one is doing 0.48. So this is paying almost 2 wax per hour or per day to a pool that I was able to buy to a pool that I was able to buy 80. So that's 70% of this pool I was able to buy for 30 wax. So now I'm making 1.5 wax a day on 30 wax, and we'll make back all of the wax I spent on this KMEX token in theory in 2 weeks or something. So I bought all those, but because I bought them all, it drove the price up so high that now it's not a viable strategy for our DeFi play.
But I guess that's the methodology if you're going to look through some of these token pools and measure risk reward there.
Also, this one's paying out, till 2023, and has enough of a payout that it's worth messing around with. So looking at these token pools is a way to kind of find little strategies like this, I think, that maybe aren't super obvious, because none of these pools are going to display what their APR is in a percentage. So most people aren't necessarily digging through this to do the math, at least not in this case, where I was able to buy, when I started buying these tokens at like the first, I think I spent 10 wax on like 40,000 of this. So the other 20 wax for 80, because the price just starts shooting up as like there's no new people selling, and only this one person who made the token apparently is putting up the liquidity. But hey, the rewards are trickling in here, and I claimed those yesterday already, and I'll have my money made back pretty quickly because I checked for these like opportunities and found some like deep cut things. The other thing was, the first thing I did was check out the KMEX token contract too. So, I'd come up here. Let's check that really quick, just to see if it's like worth throwing some like test amounts at.
So you can see the total supply and the circulating supply and
exactly. And so let's see, I have it in here. Where is it? There's Chimp. I have too many tokens. There it is. So KMEX, and it has a max cap at 21 million, of which like 10 million are already like distributed. So it's like, I don't know. It was pretty much like, yeah, I could buy all of those. Like the total supply is basically held by the person who minted them. And as far as I can tell, as long as I, am able to participate in this pool that I found for like 2 weeks and sell off these rewards, and as long as BTK token doesn't shit the bed, which that was the other part of looking up how's BTK token doing.
And managing how much you want to put in, because BTK and mining network is pretty volatile, so that's why you only did like 30 wax rather than maybe 3,000 wax or whatever.
Yeah, so
you can see the upside, but managing how much exposure you have is part of the equation as well.
Yeah, and here we see this is the Btk token chart, and you can see it's doing its thing, climbing the on balance volume higher, like lows, see the little peaks climbing. I like to see that. That's good, especially considering this is probably the only place that BTK trades in these volumes. Like this is a lot of money like moving through this chart, 88,000 wax. So this kind of paints a pretty decent picture that, I feel like BTK will hover around here at least until the rug gets pulled. So yeah, I mean, I don't trust this token long term, and I don't participate in mining network, but I felt like this was a fun way for me to get exposure to that.
But isn't that KMEX token is held by is it already minted into a wallet, or is it from a contract? Because wouldn't that be a red flag that like there's 10 million tokens and it's just sitting in someone's wallet while they're making incentivized pools? They could just command their own incentivized pool.
Yeah, they could just add 10 million to the pool and cut my share of it, which is 80,000 down.
So that's
to
a bit of a red flag. Even don't you think?
100% the risk, and that's why it was like, yeah, I'm willing to do this with like a play amount of liquidity.
Yeah, okay, I see what you mean. Yeah. So that possibility is there. So obviously you're putting in 30 wax, which is what, like $3 or whatever. But
yeah, and that's also why, since we're looking right now for something to do with like 4 wax, I was like, let's try something like that.
Because I mean, whoever made that token, like, you're kind of, the fact that they just sit on 10 million, I don't really trust them to be a good actor with that.
Same, especially because like, you can see when I buy from the liquidity pool here with the KMEX token, it like shot the price up. It's up 284% since like the first purchases. So I don't know. It's like the risk is he could pull the liquidity from here. So meaning if I go to liquidity, this is the wax side. There is, 117 wax in this pool. And the counterpart to that wax is here, what is that? 187,000 KMEX tokens. So he could easily use some of his 10 million to just dump more KMEX tokens and then pull the wax side of this pool, which, whatever, it's only 100 wax. Not a big risk to me. Then the the other side of that risk is he could just take those KMEX tokens, add them to this token pool, and dilute my position in the pool, giving me a ridiculously too small cut to be significant to actually recover my principal. Both of those things would damage his token's value proposition entirely. So I don't know if they're willing to kind of like put up a pool like this and set it for like over a year of rewards and this amount of tokens that's in this pool. If we go to staking token pools, it's worth like 1,000 wax, I think, right? Like 219. That's got to be worth like BTK. $219, yeah, 919 wax. So they're willing to mess around with also play amounts of money. So it's fun, I think, to like see what's being put into these pools and see if we can find any type of like opportunity. Like here's one that's doing 4,000 wax. Like let's see what this would get us. So I'm gonna click on the pool. It needs CWL token. It looks like I already have 2. And then if I say about, it looks like there is 4.7 million of these tokens already in here. Oh, and they're staked. XYTE is the token name.
And it's paying out wax?
It's paying out in wax, yeah. So if I go to my wallet, XCWL, it's weird that it's asking for XYTE. So I guess let's see what that token is. Does that exist over here? XYTE. There it is. Let's see if that's a viable option for us. With our 4.6 wax, we would get 5,000, let's say 200 XYTE. I'll close some of these. So 5,200 of 4.7 million. So let's do the math of what we'd actually be making if we did this. We'd get 5,200 divided by 471,480.9 equals, that would be our share of this whole pool. So we would own about 0.11% of the total pool. And then that would be, we'd be making that times 0.34, 0.3416, let's say 5 for now, equals times 24 hours. So we would be making 0.001 wax per day. So this is not that exciting, times 7 days. So after a week, if we put our 4 wax into this, we would end up with a little over 1% in wax reward made from this pool. So that's not necessarily, I think we can do better than 1% in the week. So let's zoom out and see if there's any other pools on here that might be viable for our investment. Are you familiar with any of these tokens that aren't wax, other than wax and BTK, Mark? Like LTK, for example? I see a few.
No, not yet. Keep going.
Light CMX I'm familiar with, and that was a better deal than the thousands of wax one. Food, Wax Ludio. Let's see how much this one goes.
Yeah,
So
I don't
this one
recognize any of those.
Look at this. This one's paying out 1 wax per hour. That already feels like a lot more than the other pool. So let's see how much. If I go to my wallet, I'm going to copy this one. It's called Ludio. Right. Let's see. There it is. If we do our 4.6, that's 250-ish. So 250, we go back to about. Let's do our quick math on this too. Calculator. 250-ish divided by 284,809 Okay, so that's a 0.00087. That's what the E minus 7 means. By the way, if people are unfamiliar with scientific notation, an E with a number basically means you're adding the number's amount of zeros. So you'd take the decimal place and move it that amount of numbers. So this would be 4. That means the decimal place would move 1 and then add 3 more zeros. So this would be 0.0000877, blah, blah, blah. That's what that means, in case people see that on their calculator and are confused by it. But so we'd have that amount of the pool times 1.1717 per hour times 24 hours. Oh yeah, times 7 days. So here with our 4 wax, here we'd actually get quite a bit more. We're looking at if what we kind of want is, I don't know, this is more than, like, it'd be 0.04. So 8, 16, 8.
I mean, isn't it like 5,
Yeah.
like maybe less than 5%?
Like 4 point, 4 point something percent in a week. That's not bad, but I also don't know what this Lido token's ability to hold its value is. So if I go check their price over an all-time kind of like trajectory, it looks like it's been cheaper. It's kind of like trending up a bit in recent time. Let's see what it looks like on the market. So again, I'm going to go over market tab. Let's look up that same token. Oh, might be actually able to.
Yes, it is Clash Dome related. You can tell because you'll see the issuer of the token contract. You scroll up, Max, a little bit. To the hold on, go up a little bit.
Oh, here, Clash.
Clash Dome token, yeah. So that's like the token contract. So if you're looking for what these are related to, that's usually your clue.
Yeah. Oh wow. Looking at the Alcor chart, it looks like you just got a huge drop, and I don't know if I've ever seen this before, where there's orders at a much higher ask or bid price than what the actual ask price is. I'm not sure what the hell's going on there. I'm gonna refresh this. Okay, there we go. So 0.0017 is what it's quoting me for that. Let's see what the swap was quoting again. We were looking for Lido tokens. So the swap is quoting me 0.018. This is a cool opportunity. I like this. So this token price just collapsed like super hard, 10x from where it is at the swap at current value. Let's place a limit order here and participate in that. So I'm going to jump over here where I'm signed into that wallet, and I'm going to use our 4 wax to limit buy those tokens, those Lido tokens, because we know that if we can get them for 10x cheaper than what we were looking at, here we go. This is what we were making in a week of staking those. If we could 10x that, we'd be making 1.7 wax on our 4 wax in 1 week. I can live with that. So let's try to set a limit order and see if this time next week our order filled for that new like collapsed token price. So I'm gonna log into our DeFi wallet on Alcor, since Alcor is where we can make limit orders. So we'll be split between Alcor and DeFi Box for this position now. So I'm going to go to the market. We're looking for this Lido token, which we really don't know much about other than it's offering to pay out on the wax DAO in an amount that makes sense to how cheap the token price is currently falling. So we'll go here. And we got to wait for this to populate. There it is. 0075. I'm just gonna do 0077 and then say buy Lido with all the wax that we currently have. So that would be quite a bit. So let's place that order. Hopefully we can get lucky here and we'll catch some more of that dump. It looks like they had been very low volume for the last few days and then a huge sell like this. So there we go. If we get our limit order filled, we get 2,710 of these Lido tokens, which we can then stake for passive return. And what I would do, because look at the spread here is so massive, if this order were to fill 4.6 wax for 2,700, the first thing I would do is click up here at the highest ask offer, drop this like slightly lower. So we'll go like 8, and then you could see if you sold 2,700, it would be 61 wax. So what I would do here is, like, because we would have bought it for 4.6, I would probably sell like maybe the 700, turn the 4 wax into 15 wax, and use the 2,000 to do the staking that we wanted to do. Basically, if we can capture a purchase on something that is fallen off so aggressively like that, the move is always to capture your principal before you take the, there's no point in taking 2,700 if we can get 5x what we started or 3x what we started with just the 700. So let's see what happens there. I think if I refresh, it'll show my little caret that indicates that that's my order. There it is. So now we're the top ask. We'll see if more people sell off through this here. Probably not. The other thing is, check this out. If this fills, what we could do is immediately jump over to the swap and sell it. So we'd be buying it for 4.6. It would be 2,700. If this does fill, jumping over to the swap, just going to swap and then selling, it would be 2,700. We'd immediately more than 10x our 4.6 wax. So it's definitely the move here is to set this limit order right now, since we're at the top of the bid stack. I think that's probably what we'll try to do for this week. We'll leave that order sitting there, and then the rest of our position is going to be 42 wax worth bilaterally in the CMW wax position. Again, this started out as 104. It's gone down because of the amount that CMW has dropped since we added. We can actually double check that over here. If we click swap, go to liquidity, and then scroll down and take a look here, CMW wax. So you can see I started with 6 CMW against 44 wax, and I'm now up to 18 CMW and down to 21 wax. So as this has been shifting around, I've lost the value of the wax from this pool, but earned that value in rewards by claiming mining rewards, turning them into wax, and then turning them into wax USDT, where I've added initially 51 wax, which covered our whole 102 kind of like starting position, and that has since sold some of its wax into more US dollars. So we have about 30 cents more, a little bit less on the wax side. I'm happy to stay in this pool for now, especially because if the market does, continue to fall off, this will buy back our wax for cash. And then if the market keeps climbing, we'll get more US dollar token, like cash tokens, and sell some wax, which both of those I'd be fine with, because we can use those as a value for future moves. So at this point, we're back down to 140 in liquidity on DeFi box, and then we've now set a limit order, which we can track if we go to the wallet tab on Alcor, and then this open orders position will show you have one open order worth 4 wax. So that's the total of this wallet now, and I think we'll see what happens here this time next week. Let's see. Let me check. Still the number one limit order here. I'd definitely like to see. Oh, someone just outbid me. Well, screw you. Let's see. You know what? I'm gonna outbid them one more time, and then we'll call it a day. I'm gonna cancel my order. Go to whatever they're outbidding me, and I'm just gonna add a 1 in front of this and buy from here. So there we go. It's still pretty much the exact same amount. I'm almost certain people are gonna outbid me here, and it's unlikely that we get these orders filled, but I'm still gonna try. There we go. I placed my order here. Someone's gonna outbid me again. It's just that's how it goes. I mean, right now, like I showed you a second ago, there's a more than 10x opportunity just to arbitrage directly with the swap. So anybody who's getting their orders filled here stands to make, immediate swap profits. So it's unlikely we see this fill, but who knows? Let's try, right? And then again, part of the reason, the main reason that we are trying this is because we found the pool here to be incentivized enough to kind of capture our imagination. But yeah, I'm definitely digging the waxed out stuff. I've been messing around with tokens that people make here, and I don't know, it's just a lot of fun. I think it's fun to buy a bunch of tokens and play token whale with people's tokens like KMEX. I have no idea what the hell that token's supposed to be or what it's going to be for, or if it's going to be anything other than somebody's passion project trying to make their own crypto because that was a bucket list thing they wanted to do. I really don't care. I just like to play with it. I think it's funny. And I'm willing to put 30 wax down to mess with these little token farms that people are building. And
yeah, I mean, is it part of your, we were kind of talking about this in the chat, but is it part of your risk assessment that you look at the game itself to see, maybe that Ludio token dumped because there was some announcement that, maybe the game's just completely collapsing and that's why there's that price movement? Or is that just time that you're choosing not to spend since you're putting in as an amount that you're okay to lose?
Yes, that's exactly it. It's time that I'm choosing not to spend because it's such a small amount and such a huge gap between what it's been selling for this whole time versus what it's at now. I don't really care what's happening. It's 4.5 wax.
So, I mean, you could research those things if you wanted to. It's more like Max's choice to be like, I'll take a flyer and see what happens. Just a cost benefit to that time investigating too. You could do it for more peace of mind, but it's all up to you and how you're measuring the risk and how much you're trying to put into it as well. If it's like 1,000 wax he's putting in, then maybe there's going to be some more thought put in. But if it's 5 wax, it's, or a fraction of a percentage of what you're working with, then, it's like, it's a calculated gamble at that point.
Yeah, and that's kind of the reason why we haven't done anything this reckless and uninformed, I would say, or unresearched up until this point with this position, is because this is the very first time that we're taking wax that is surplus. We already made back our principal from our yield farming. We still have our yield farm position open and earning more wax. This wax was just our weekly take from earning from the yield farm position, which has already made itself whole. So it's basically house money at this point. That's 5 wax over the 100 wax we started with. We still have the 100 wax. We still have the position in the CMW wax pool. So at this point, that is kind of a position that we can mess with in that way, with a lot less risk, or with a lot more risk tolerance, basically. The other move here, other than trying to do this limit order, would be, I would say, to just compound into the CMW position. Take the 4.6 wax and just split it 50% CMW, 50% wax, add it to the pool, and deepen the liquidity pool there again to kind of compound the thing that we're already using to make passive income. Now that we have pulled our principal out into the Wax USDT pool, I feel much more confident about compounding the CMW pool. I haven't yet, and again, I feel like it's possible we get those orders filled, but it's very unlikely. So maybe a better move, a more like calculated approach to this would definitely be to compound the CMW pool. Like that's 100% a better move because it's already working. It's already immediately going to start producing 478% APR. Whereas this other one is we're going to be waiting for a full week. You know what? The more I'm talking about, the more I feel like we should do the more like calculated approach rather than the Hail Mary swing for the fences.
Yeah.
So let's actually do that. Let's
Oh man, Priscilla, we'll have to. We're winding down here, but you'll have to let us know how Emerald City went. You know, that's our old stomping ground,
yes.
Seattle area. So you'll have to tell us what you think of Seattle.
Yes, I would love to know about this too. Okay, let's see if an arbitrage bot.
And we have to know whether or not you went to Dick's Burgers because that is very important.
Yes, Dick's Drive-In. And what did you get? The deluxe, I hope. And did you order extra onions on the side?
Oh man, yeah, it's not quite like In-N-Out where you have like the particular orders, you know. But yes, greasy bag of dicks as is so often consumed in Seattle.
Indeed. Yeah, I am gonna take
go with the cheeseburger. I feel like just I'll get a deluxe, but I'll also get like a couple just plain cheeseburgers because they're pretty solid.
The cheeseburgers rock. I agree with that 100%.
Sometimes you just gotta keep it simple, you know.
Oh yeah, sorry. I just want to say I'm keeping the 0.6 whatever. I'm just taking the 4 wax out to do the sensible thing. I do want to have some exposure to this like insane like dump and token price. I like spotting something like that, and I think it's still worth throwing 0.6 wax at that instead of our entire bag for the week. So for the week, let me come back up here and CMW wax. We're gonna do a 50%. So that's going to be just 2 of our 4 wax. And I'm going to add this back into the pool, and then we're going to let that farm. And unless we come up with better, higher yielding strategies that are like kind of a sure thing to make us that yield over the week, I think this is still the best strategy out there at the moment. So let's do it. There we go. Confirm that.
Yeah, and that was a very deliberate move that he wasn't compounding the CMW wax pool until the principal was returned. So we've been with this strategy. He's been using the CMW wax LP farming for a while, for like a month now, and has since taken out his original principal of 100 wax, put it into wax
that's right here.
and USDT to hedge and basically keep that principle kind of set aside. And now that we're basically playing with house money, then we can start compounding those things. So that was the strategy, because you could have been compounding the whole way and taking all those CMW rewards and adding back to the pool, but then you're still risking on a risky asset.
You're exposed.
So this is the first time that he has compounded that CMW wax position for that reason, just for context.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. And then let's take a look really quick at CMW. What I'm expecting to see here, again, because this is a very inflationary token economy, there's going to be an on-balance OBV metric, on-balance volume metric, that is probably just sinking as people are taking profit. So let's, oh wait, there it is. On-balance volume. Let's see how accurate that was. Yeah, here we go. Started up here. We're certainly lower, but it's actually, look at that. This is interesting to see. We sold off very aggressively here with these large volume candles, very aggressively, and made a low, quite low down here at this price, where if we're zooming in right now, we're actually close to, you see this little red line, we're actually close to the same price now, where we had made this low on the OBV. Now that the prices actually continued to fall, the OBV has been climbing. This is again, this is like a bearish or a bullish divergence. Usually it's like price is falling, but like on balance volume climbing, volume in general like declining. You can see these are like, generally speaking, bigger candles than what we've been seeing recently. It's possible we could see like, you know, a nice pump back up here. It's also like possible we don't. But let's see. I'm not just seeing this dump low, making lower lows and lower highs. Right now it's like making a higher low here. Like, see, we've basically hit the same price that we did before on this price action, but we did not hit the same low on the OBV during that time of price action. So this is a higher low. This is actually kind of a positive sign. I like that. And then let's take a look. We can add the Bollinger Bands too. Let's see how we're doing on the Bollinger Bands. So this is the 4 hour. We can see broke down. It's actually kind of too volatile for that to make me feel like I'm seeing anything that's worth like charting. Here's the 1 day. This is much more clean. We've been in a downtrend pretty much since the Bollinger Bands started. So it's like we're falling below the middle B bands line, peaking above it slightly, but being rejected, coming back up to it, being rejected, coming back up to it. Possible we'd be rejected next here. And then here we can see now though, making higher highs or higher lows and higher highs on the on balance volume. So it's possible we don't get rejected further and we actually bounce off the top of the middle line here. But recently it looks like we have been rejected there. So it's fun. You can add all these indicators to this to these charts too. But yeah, so that keeps us now, I think, here. If we go back to the overview, 44. So the extra 4 we added back into here. We're at 46 now. I would say we're going to keep compounding until we find better strategies to like pursue. I really like that KMEX one, but again, I kind of bled that one dry. It's not really worth doing it with what I drove the token price up to.
But at least, yeah, you kind of showed the strategy for
30
calculating the reward structure and then figuring out for individuals whether or not that's worth it.
Yeah, exactly. And the same goes for when you're back on WaxDAO. The same goes for the staking of the NFT farms. You can like find tokens that you actually want. Like here's a 2000 wax one. And then you can like do the kind of same math where if you go to the about tab, it tells you, you know, like the hourly reward per NFT is this. And then you can do the math. It's like, okay, if I buy one NFT, that's 1 of 820. So that would be, you know, 1/820th of this amount per hour. How much was that NFT and how long will I need to stake it to make back that money? Is the pool going to be open long enough for me to make back that cost? And you know, is the token being paid out going to hold its value long enough for me to realize my principal back? Is kind of the thing you'd want to like look into when you're trying to pursue strategies like that. But there's so many different tokens now and so many different pools here that it's actually like there's kind of hidden gems, I would say. Like I definitely felt like there was.
Yeah, I think WaxDAO is like relatively new. I think it's only a project as a whole has only been around for like a month or two. So I think you can be early to some of these pools, obviously, like figure out what's right for you. But I don't think from a user's standpoint, obviously the projects are starting to find this as a cool tool to, you know, incentivize their token or incentivize their NFTs. And I think slowly the Wax users are starting to get keen to what's available here to build that and what they're looking for in now Alcor, DeFi Box, and now WaxDAO. But that's a slow onboarding process. So you can kind of be early to some of these things
Yeah.
in some cases.
And just because the way that it's displayed is also like not super intuitive. Like it's not clear to me how much 4,000 food tokens are worth, or like the fact that if I go that I'm getting 1.2 per hour split among 300, like there's an amount of math that the user needs to do to actually understand what the opportunity is for each of these pools that I just don't think the average user is doing. And there is definitely the ability to look through these pools, do that math, and find opportunities that are worth participating in. Like I was saying with my wallet, I'm doing the that BTK pool now, and for 30 wax, I'm gonna end up making like 30 wax a week worth of BTK at the current BTK prices. And I understand that BTK is this mining network Ponzi scheme kind of like collection that is just climbing and climbing in like popularity, and is like Farmers World 2.0 basically. So I don't like to participate in owning NFTs in that like mining network game, because I don't want to hold those bags when the bottom inevitably falls out. But I don't mind holding some bullshit token, just because I think that that's just more fun to me. I'd rather have the like KMEX token and be making BTK with that than try to participate and figure out how to make a yield from mining network in time for it to actually like not collapse in on itself.
Yeah. All right, well, I'm
But
gonna run Stream Raiders real quick, and then we'll raid off here. We're going on about 2 hours, so
okay, yeah.
I think I'll raid into Sasha from Wombat Dungeon Master. He's always doing fun stuff. We really like him a lot. So
Nice.
And then thanks for joining us. I thought that was a good tech talk and a good kind of like teach how to fish kind of scenario here. Wow, that was pretty easy for a four skull. Jesus Christ.
Damn, that was really quick.
Yeah,
there's definitely like a lot of those opportunities are fun, and a lot of them are kind of like by their nature, like that again, like the KMEX one is one that I keep harping on because it's one I like participated in pretty aggressively. But when I first found that one, it was like, oh yeah, if I buy these tokens, the yield is like 1,000 something percent APR right now. But if I buy 10 wax worth, I'm driving the token price up 10%. So like I couldn't do that with like 1,000 wax or something, So a lot of those those types of opportunities are really like micro opportunities for like perfect for our investment circumstances, but not necessarily perfect for like investors out there who are looking to like turn $1,000 into like more than $1,000. You definitely can't do that stuff with $1,000. It's limited to the scope of what that stuff is at today, which is like a couple dollars, which is fine. Mess with it, and that's why I was like, yeah, I have a high risk tolerance for this stuff because I'm having fun, and it's it's $5. It's okay.
Yeah. Even in the context of the 100 wax, it's still 5%, right?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And then it's like with the 100 wax one again, the part of the reason why I was like interested in looking at those types of higher risk things in the first place is like, well, we've mitigated our risk structure for that position, but at this point we made back the principal. We still have our liquidity mine. Like that is that is risk. That is a well risk managed position. Like it's
you could walk away with the same money you started with and just pat yourself on the back for a fun time and some friends you made along the way.
Yeah, exactly. And then I could have like some KMEX tokens, which I can now just send to people randomly, or I could make my own farm and start giving them out there. Like I don't know.
Yeah. So I think part of that is like the takeaway is you can play around with these things without your goal being I'm gonna buy a house with this. There are times where like, hey man, I just want to kind of play around with some different things and maybe make a little extra wax, so then I can then buy a pack with house money, or I can farm and get these tokens for this project I'm interested in, and that's a net positive. So I think setting realistic goals too that you don't have to, you can do these investment style strategies without having to make it all about, I'm going to retire and quit my job over it. You
Yeah,
can set
exactly.
small, interesting goals. And particularly if you just like playing around the Wax ecosystem and buying NFTs, it's another way to like kind of build some fun money that, you know, hey, I bought a Funko drop with, you know, just playing around with CMX, you know, taco staking rewards or something, you know.
Exactly.
And
Yeah, and then
that is an accomplished goal in and of itself. So
yeah, like the taco pool. I really like that taco brawl pool that we're in. It's like, you know, I have relative faith in and confidence in the brawl token, the taco team. From what I see them building, like, cool. I'm like interested enough to want to participate, and I, you know, made that position, well, like a week, 2 weeks ago now. I don't really like have to keep up with it. You know, that's what I really like about a lot of this fungible token like investment strategies, like DeFi stuff, is that you can structure those positions like what we have right now. And if we were to go on like a month-long vacation or something and never like not check in on this, when we come back 4 weeks from now, we haven't like lost revenue because we didn't keep up with it. We've just accumulated 4 weeks worth of that revenue. And
yeah.
that kind of thing I really like, where it's
Yeah, and
like
that's realistic to real people with real lives. Like, you know, most
exactly.
people that engage in this stuff are doing it on the side as like a fun thing to do. They're not trying to, you know, this is one among many other things that they do in their day-to-day life.
Yeah,
They don't
exactly.
want to have to create positions that require an undue amount of work in order to maintain it, or else have a fear of losing it. So
Yeah.
the whole point of this is, because Max set his goal at the very beginning. His goal was not to make more cash. His goal was to make more wax.
Yeah.
So you'll like that as the North Star is the key to remember in the context of this. Now your goals may be different, but in this case, the goal is to make more wax.
Yeah, and also it's nice to understand having a clear goal like that is really, really important if you're investing. Like when I've back in like 2017 or something, when like crypto was like mooning super hard, it was like, yeah, I was like, it's difficult. It's difficult to take profits when your money is just like, you know, multiplying and all your assets are flying off the fucking handles. And you know, it was like I was participating in ICOs and I was like, oh, I could get, you know, like 1 million of this token if I just put like, you know, 2 Ethereum down on it or whatever. And when you start thinking in like token terms, I had to like remind myself that like, oh, the goal of this portfolio is to make more US dollars, not to make more like token X or token Ethereum or whatever. Like as much as I'd like to have 1,000 Ethereum, the goal isn't to make it to 1,000 Ethereum. The goal is to make it to $1,000. You know, so it's like having that goal clearly in mind kept me from falling into the pitfall trap that a lot of like especially new coming
Yeah,
investors fall into,
The
where you
FOMO
just
hype,
don't.
you're more resilient to, because hey, look, everyone's really excited about this thing, and that does seem interesting, but it doesn't align with the goal of making more cash or making a certain amount of
Yeah,
cash. And
and
that
I'm sure.
keeping
Oh,
your
sorry.
own goal so you don't get sucked into the hype, I think is a very difficult thing to do, to regulate your emotions in investing. And it sounds like, well, you know, who gets emotional when dealing with investments, but it definitely does. You get
Yeah,
scared, you get excited, you get you know, really interested in like, oh well, if this keeps going for 6 months to a year to 2 years, I
yeah,
could have
yeah.
like $1 million. Oh my god. You know,
It's
like regulating your emotions is what sets you up for success for the long term, because this is a marathon, not a race.
yeah, exactly. It's definitely like you have like you have to have that like goal in mind. So if your goal is to make more wax, great, then you can act in like in the direction towards that goal, where like it's just really difficult to basically, you know, sell out of farmer's world when your stuff is up 10x. And I'm like positive that there's people in the audience and in our communities just like me who have NFTs in their collection on wax, that you can see like your purchase price, you know, is maybe 1,000 wax or whatever for this NFT, and it, you know, equals like $100 or whatever. And today that NFT is worth like $1.50, and you could look at those old purchases that you made in the height of this bull market during all that euphoria, while you were just printing money with Our Planet or Alien Worlds or Farmers World or whatever the money printer of the moment was. I'm sure you made purchase decisions back then that today, while you're, maybe a little strapped for cash, as the bear market's been a little bit more aggressive than a lot of people anticipated, maybe today you look at that item and you're like, what the fuck was I thinking, spending $100 on, something that's today sells for $1, and you still like probably are having a hard time flipping or whatever for $1. And like, there's stuff in my collection too. Like I have a few like mythic miners from Our Planet that were like $1,000, and today they sell like for like 12. And,
oh man! All right. Well, we just got raided by Sasha. That's funny because we were literally about to try and raid back to Sasha. So we're actually winding down. So apologies to everyone that just raided into us. I guess we'll raid into Token Gamer. He's going over some blockchain games. They always play something cool or interested in stuff. It's up to you if you want to go back on, Sasha. We can raid into you. It's all your deal. But there's plenty of other people to raid into as well. You always put in a lot of time as well. But yeah, as far as us, tomorrow we're back on at the same time, so it's 12 p.m. Pacific. For us, or 19 UTC, we'll have Sammy Snake on from Nova Rally. So we're always pals with Sammy. So he sounds like he has some stuff he wants to chop it up about updates there, and we can show off some of the car skins that we've been working on. Oh, here we go. NFT Gamer TV went live. We'll go right into them for Taco Tuesday.
Hell yeah.
But anyway, yeah, so it'll be fun to talk to Sam again. We haven't seen him in a while, and it's fun to hear his updates. And then Thursday at 19 UTC, 12 Pacific, we'll be on with Chanpa from Cosmos 11. We also did a collaboration card with them that'll be usable in the game that we're going to be ready to mint and give away on Thursday as well.
Have we teased that one, or we'll tease it tomorrow?
I think Lou posted it in Discord.
Okay, cool.
And I can show it again in Discord, but I really got to go and pee and eat. But and then Friday will be off the rails. Max and I may or may not argue about food again. So I thought that was a good time. I
really enjoyed that.
And then we do Fall Guys on Saturdays. So we'll do.
If you have a good alternative to mac and cheese, definitely.
Yeah, if we're gonna argue two foods, I'm arguing mac and cheese. And what's a good mac and cheese equivalent? I think lasagna is a good one. It's a similar homey dish that is a pasta base, and is beloved by many. So
I would way rather have lasagna than mac and cheese. I could argue that, but if there's something that people think is even
we're open
better,
to suggestions here.
I'm trying to win, so.
Yeah. So anyway, that's our week in a nutshell. But we'll be on same time tomorrow with Sammy. So, I guess
thanks for joining us, guys. And if there's specific like crypto things that you're interested in, like that are maybe a little deep cut, like DeFi things, hit me up about that stuff in like Discord, or just DM me about it, and then we can dive into that stuff on Tuesdays as well. There's really elaborate DeFi stuff on Ethereum that I am a huge fan of and I participate in, but I just kind of don't talk about on stream because I don't think a lot of our community is interested in Ethereum DeFi. But I'm really looking forward to like the merger making transactions on Ethereum more affordable, so that maybe it becomes a little less of a barrier of entry for people with, not thousands and thousands of dollars to throw into strategies.
So we'll be around, and we're always open to chop it up in Discord, and Lou's around too. So well, thanks y'all. Have a good Tuesday, and we'll talk to you soon. And I guess tell NFT Gamers TV we said hi.
Your boy Kevin just lost lots of money.
Oh man! All right. Well, I'm too deep in it to throw in buying the dip, but
but
it'll live on in our hearts.
I'm doing it a cappella. Hey, come on, push it. Buying the dip. Buying the dip. All this whining by Wall Street is making me sick. 140% of GameStop was short. GameStop was short.
Oh shit!
Can't allow Wall Street to short 75% of a stock, crush these companies into the dirt, thousands of stocks into the dirt. I'm actually like nailing this just from memory.
I'm crushing it. There we go. I don't know why it never